whether you like it or not, probably the big hedge funds and everything else do have more money. They're trying to beat them at their own game. My view is let them have fun while they can. But at the end of the day, it's the market is the market. People want to play the game. Why not?
Before we get on with this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video.
Gamestop. I don't know if you've been watching this. These sort of small investors, they're on Reddit. I've just heard from Harry this morning that I think they're on silver now. Silver's gone up 10% this morning. And it's all about maybe Nigel Farage would call him the little man in the street, sort of taking on the big establishment, the hedge funds and all this sort of stuff. And I also notice, slightly linked to that, the average age of a HL customer has dropped from 45 to 37, apparently. And apparently that's because loads of them are day trading. Maybe they're not necessarily the same people as the GameStop thing, but what do you make of it all this sort of GameStop, and obviously they're moving on to silver now and various other sort of assets. Did you used to have this, or is this a new phenomenon?
Well, I think you talked about it when you said you did contracts for difference. I mean, it's almost the same principle of having a flutter to try and beat the system, isn't it? There's a lot of people that sort of degrade or sort of talk down the GameStop type dealing, and I can understand why. But on the other hand, why not? If people want to play the game, if people want to short, I mean, I hate people who short buy stock because it just depresses the price all the time. And it's not great for long-term investors in the stock because it can undermine confidence. But at the end of the day, the market is the market. It's the free market. So the people who have been buying GameStop and back in silver today and trying to outdo the other guys, good luck to them. In many ways, as long as they can afford to do it, as long as they cover their margins and all the various other things, why should because the small investor, if like makes a killing, why should anybody begrudge that? That's we want people to invest. We want people to become long-term investors, long-term savers. Really, maybe would be more appropriate. But I think in the long term, these fads, if you like, will work their way through the system. And whether you like it or not, probably the big hedge funds and everything else do have more money than the investors in the they're trying to beat them at their own game. So my view is let them have fun while they can. But I wouldn't be wanting to follow the fad. It's like Bitcoin. I don't understand Bitcoin. I'd never touch it.
Next question. Yeah.
And I've never quite understood, and I don't know if I've got this right or not, because I've never looked at it that closely, but the fact you've got a machine in the corner sort of manufacturing these things is sort of very strange to me. So I mean, buying a stock that's people are shorting and outdoing them it's because everybody else is going to follow on. But it's a bit like that. Let me tell you a story. If you go into the bar with your mates and perhaps you're all dressed up in fancy dress or everything else, and they say, "Who's going to go in first? Who's going to go in first?" And they say, "You go in, Mark, and we'll all follow you in." And of course, all what we do is we let you go in. And then we all clear off and leave you to it. And so at some point with one of these stocks or investments, the number of people are going to go in, and then everybody else is going to leave them to it, and they're going to get have a bath with it, and that's not very nice. But in reality, that's what's going to happen at some point. People are going to lose some money there, and then they're going to think twice about it.
Yeah. Well, I suppose the music stops, doesn't it, at some point? I suppose, and they're not Ponzi schemes, but it is a bit like that, isn't it? All the people at the bottom make lots of money, and everyone makes loads of money until the money stops coming in, and then it falls apart.
There's always been the herd instinct in investment. People follow the herd, and you can follow it too far, and that's what makes a market. The market will never go up forever. It won't go down forever. It will adjust along the way.
If you've enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel.